Okay. Oh, yeah, there you go. All right. So I just did this reading and realized I hadn't put my microphone on. And yeah, there was no sound at all. So doing it again. Okay. So, hi everyone. This is Alvie. I'm here with Group 1's reading. So if you chose Group 1 for this week's pick a card, this is your pile, your reading. It is a general reading, so not every message that comes through for you is going to be a message, that resonates with you. It might not. Maybe there's things in the other piles for you to use or hear or embody, or messages you need to hear. Um, so if there's stuff that doesn't resonate, just whatever, put it in the shelf of on a shelf in your mind, or disregard it as necessary. Um, if you were interested in getting more deep, more deeply, more personal information and messages, a personal reading is what I would recommend. So you can book that with me. I'll leave a link in the description box, and you can go there and book a reading with me if that's what you would like. Um, Also, it does not have to be a face-to-face Zoom reading if you don't like that, or you haven't got time, or we're in a different time zone. Totally cool. I'm happy to do a video reading like this that will be tailored just to you, so I can tap into your energy from anywhere, all over the world, and I can read what your guides and your energy field and your soul is trying to, have you know at that time. Um, Anything else that I need to mention? No, I don't think so. I think we'll just go straight into the reading. See, I already did it once and forgot to turn the mic on. And, messages, it's important that you can actually hear the messages. So, yeah. All right. So, I'm going to turn my music on, and then I'm going to kind of just tune into the energy of this reading. So, just tapping into the energy, feeling what's coming through from the cards, and just from this particular collective as well, from the people who chose Group 1. And then we'll have a look at the energy messages coming through from these cards as well. So the first one that I am drawn to is this one at a time card. Pardon me. Here we go with the burping hiccups and channeling burps and whatever you want to call it. Yeah, so I really love the energy of this card. The imagery on it is sort of visionary art style in a way. It kind of reminds me of a Tool album cover that I used to have, that I probably still have somewhere. I don't really listen to CDs. It's just all on, YouTube or whatever these days. And a Persian rug, like the imagery is just beautiful, and it kind of gives me that feeling of fractals, and fractals kind of tap into that infinite abundance, infinite, like it's just infinite possibilities type energy, right? Um, One thing at a time, so focus on a single purpose. So I feel like the message coming through here with this card is really, it's just talking about being, what's the word I'm looking for? I use this word all the time. Of course, my brain doesn't want it to come out of my mouth today. Um, Being intentional with what you're doing, paying attention to just one thing at a time, so that you can, like, give that all of the energy that it needs until it's done. Um, I feel like, you've got a lot of stuff. You can see here there's these two things here. They're giving me the feeling of, like, eggs, something that you're hatching or something that you want to birth into the world. And there's like sort of reflections of those on the other side of the card as well. And it's giving me this feeling like there's a lot of things that you want to do, but you're kind of not getting anything done. And you're kind of doing a bit here and a bit there. And you're wondering why, you're not productive, or you're not actually getting things finished. So the energy, the message coming through with this card is like, it's because you need to just focus on one thing at a time. There's also this energy coming through from this that I'm feeling into, that's kind of like is asking you to remember why you're doing the thing that you're doing. It doesn't mean that you can't do multiple things during the day. It just means like focus on one thing at a time. Um, by doing that, you're giving that thing, the one thing that you're doing, time to be completely birthed, to be completely finished, to be completely done. Um, and then you can move on to the next one. And that's kind of, it's like, I don't know, it's almost giving me like feng shui vibes or something like that. It's sort of like it's good to close off one thing before you start another thing, because otherwise, energetically, you've got all of this stuff going on. And like this doesn't necessarily mean have to be related to um, daily tasks or, you know, how it's coming out from me right now. It could be related to, I don't know, different people that you're sort of seeing, or one thing that just came through to me is like, you know, starting a new relationship when you've still got an old one that's not properly finished yet, because energetically it's sort of like your energy's here, your energy's there, your energy's here, your energy's there, and you wonder why you're drained and nothing gets done. That's kind of the picture that I'm getting. I'm getting like I'm clear everything. So sometimes I get visions, sometimes I get like clairvoyant pictures in my mind, sometimes I get energy messages, sometimes I can feel things or I hear things. They're all messages from the energy, from the spirits. Um, so yeah, it's this picture, and it's this same energy that was sort of coming through. Um, I think it was group one last week, where I was getting, it's like an obstacle course for you. You feel like life is a bit of an obstacle course, and you're kind of running around trying to get all this stuff done, and there's, you know, it just sort of never gets, you never get anywhere because you're basically just spinning your wheels, right? So they're asking you to focus on one thing at a time. You can't have what they're saying to me, and as a, because I'm looking at this, I don't know why. I guess it's because it's very sort of sacral chakra energy. So I'm thinking about the womb, and I'm also seeing eggs. So, you know, like things hatching. Um, I'm kind of getting this, yeah, my guides are saying like when you're pregnant, you have to see that whole pregnancy through and birth the baby and let your body recover before you can move on to the next thing. And this is what they're asking you to do, this kind of energy to bring in deliberate focus on just doing one thing until it's finished, and then letting yourself recover if that's what you need to do, and then moving on to the next thing, whatever that is. I feel like this could be related to a relationship or relationships. Perhaps you know you've got a lot of different suitors or people who you're interested in, or they're interested in you, but um, maybe it's not sort of like no one's really showing up that you really are into. Um, they're just kind of people that you're like, oh yeah, that might be okay, and I'll get to know them, and then it doesn't work. But if there's, I feel like there's like maybe there's a connection or relationship from the past that hasn't been tied off yet. It hasn't been properly finished, and I feel like this is in the energy. As I was saying, I'm getting this picture of the energy, sort of like without finishing that up energetically, whatever it is that you need to do to finish that up, um, the new things won't come in. And this doesn't mean that you can't be, you know, dating a few different people. I was going to say lots of people. That sounds really bad. It doesn't mean that you can't be. Yes, thank you, Brain. I don't need to say that on video. It doesn't mean you can't be a full-blown slut. That's what they said. I'm sorry. It's just me and my sense of humor, and yeah, my inner idiot says stupid things sometimes. But what I'm trying to say is it doesn't mean that you can't be dating other people. It just means that there's something in the past that's pending that hasn't quite finished yet energetically. There's something that's holding you back from that. Um, I'm not sure what that is because, as I said, it's a general reading, and to really get into that, you would need to, you know, assess your own personal stuff. Basically, that would be a 3 hour general reading to get into everyone's personal stuff, and probably more. So yeah, I'm sure you guys don't want to sit here for that long. So let's move on to the next message, because this is pretty clear. It's just about you know, giving things intentional focus until they are truly over and done with. So whether that means, you know, like processing emotions that are still coming up about something, physically, you know, going and saying, okay, I'm sorry, this isn't really working for me anymore, or, you know, physically making sure that that other person knows that it's completely over if that resonates for you, because they might not know. You might just still be kind of messing around with whatever. I don't know. You know what I mean? It's sort of like sometimes we have these casual connections that feel like they are more. Sorry, I'm going to just see something in my eye. Um, that need, you know, they need that. People need closure. This is what I'm trying to get to here. It's like energetically you need closure from this so that you can move on, but there's also something going on here where you might actually need to physically go in and say, hey, I can't do this anymore, or this is finished and I finished this, you know, we're done now, we talked about this, can you please stop doing what you're doing, or whatever, however it works for you. I'm sure you will know what I mean when you hear this message. Okay, so let's go on to um, the next message. Now I don't know which one to pick because I've got 4 cards here for you guys today that were pre-shuffled, you know, chosen and all that sort of stuff. And I don't look at the cards before I get them out. I just pull them out and go, okay, that's group 1. Okay, that's group 2, you know, with intention, obviously. So the higher heart chakra, I think that's where we're going to go. This is the card that's probably on the top of the pile, higher heart chakra. Higher heart chakra is an amazing chakra to have open. This is what I call the multidimensional heart center. It's what I've been talking about for like the last 8 years since I had my awakening through the heart center. So yeah, a lot of the messages that I have delivered over that time, if you know me and have, you know, watched me or read my stuff or whatever, they all come from the heart center, the multidimensional heart center, because it is the way not only that we connect with our own like sort of bliss state, but also the way we connect with like higher what's it called higher what's it called higher why the geez, that's really bad. Expanded consciousness. All right, expanded consciousness. That's maybe why my guides would let me say it, because they're really into this. Well, me too, I believe what I've experienced. It's not higher. It doesn't make you better. It just makes you more expanded. So you've got a broader understanding of why things are the way they are and how things go and all of that sort of stuff. I am looking for the book for this. Oh, there it is. The little writing underneath that higher heart chakra says ecstatic bliss. So I feel like maybe there could be like, it could be one thing that's kind of pulling you off track that you need to focus, you know, you need to focus away from and just, or finish or whatever. Or it could be just that, as I said, you know, there's like a lot of different things that you've got your finger in many pies, is what my brain just said, what the voice in my head just said. So that could be my higher self, it could be whatever, but you know what I mean. Like, you might be doing a lot of things, you might have a lot of different projects on the go, you might be just, I don't know, something like that. So focusing on just one thing at a time until it's, you know, one task, one project, one idea, one inspiration, one thing that you need to finish, even if it's like finishing the dishes, you know, something like that. Just focusing on that one thing until it's done will give you back so much more energy than having your energy drained by trying to keep a balance from all of it. And I feel like when you do that, it's sort of going to show you that how scattered you were. You didn't realize you were scattered, or you were being scattered until you did it, until you started just intentionally focusing on one thing. So let's read about the higher heart chakra. I like to know what they've got written in here. So unfurling, no, that's the heart chakra, sorry. Ecstatic bliss. So connecting with divine love, selflessness, spiritual compassion, oneness through heart-centered bliss, healing, gratitude, and giving love, and dharma. patience and joy. So what we have written here, what has she got here written here? The way that this book is set out is a bit funny, so I have to kind of sometimes proofread before I read. Okay, this card taps into the blissful oneness we feel as we drop away our edges and our protective containers. This is the place where we feel healed. Oh, we feel held, sorry, not healed. So I can't read that word. I'm laughing my house off at that. So where we feel held and seen enough to flow into oneness, where the eternal part of me meets the eternal part of you. This is the selfless state where our higher selves commune for illumined perspective on how we share, gift, and lift others in our joyful overflow. Consider your life purpose by exploring what allows you to live in joy. You can always bring joy to yourself and others. So yeah, they're talking about the thymus gland here. I feel like for some of you guys that this might be an indication that that part of you is opening up right now, or you're having a reawakening of your higher heart center. Oddly, this is something that I've been focusing on in my personal meditation over the last few weeks, just returning back to that heart center where you do feel held and blissful, and you just, you feel good, and you're not questioning why you feel good or where it's coming from, or is it going to get taken away, because you know that it's an eternal part of you that you're connecting with, the eternal part of you that's connected with higher sources, with source itself potentially, and just bringing in that. I've been feeling this actually. This is kind of maybe why I was guided to read this. Yeah, so I've been feeling this energy coming in the last few days specifically. It's like this energy just streaming into your heart, and I can hear like my guides or my higher self just constantly saying like, I love you, with this amazing energy sort of coming in and re-energizing me and reminding me that, I am love like everybody else. Maybe you're tapping into that energy too, or this could be it could be a message to remind you that you can tap into that energy, because sometimes, in life it's hard. we forget that it's there, or it might, your higher heart chakra can close over if you're going through painful situations, because it does make you feel like you're open to everything, but being open to everything makes it easier to actually let go of things too. Having a look at both of those two cards, those two messages that I was just reading for you, I'm just thinking, so I feel like for a lot of you that whatever this situation is that you're seeing coming up, or you've got going on right now, that I was picking up on, of like needing to either get closure for yourself or finish something so that that energy is closed off and not draining you anymore. That kind of energy coming through. That what the message is really is to focus on the higher heart chakra. This is where, like, messages from spirit, and where you can hear your higher self and your soul's guidance coming through. So focusing on that will help you find what it is that you need within you to actually close off this this situation energetically. As I'm saying that, my guides are saying don't forget to remind them. So I'm reminding you that just currently there are timeline shifts. So sometimes when we shift timelines, what's actually happening is like when you shift timelines, sometimes relationships or connections or friendships or situations come to an end, but it's sort of like you're still holding on to the energy of that, so you can't shift into the new version. What was happening when I did the first reading was, as I was sort of getting around to this energy message was H by Tool was on, and the lyrics to that song are oh no, hang on, I've got to look it up. Hang on one second. because I've got a different song in my head. I can't think of the lyrics. Let me just see the lyrics. Where are we? So the lyrics that I was hearing as I was thinking about this, or as I was delivering this message, where are we? Were so what I picked up was, as my fear begins to fade, recalling all the times I should have died, or I could have cried, I could have died. Hang on, let me get to the right part, because it was basically what it was talking about, or what they were trying to show me was, sometimes it's your ego is hanging on to these things, right? So what's happening is we are shifting into a new timeline. So every time there's a new version of you that's being birthed into this world, which I feel is probably something that's going to happen to everybody because of the way that the sun's been behaving lately, and I don't mean that in a bad way, but there's been a lot of really intense solar flares, and that always brings in shifts and timeline shifts and stuff like that. So it's like, I could have died, recalling all the times I could have died, or I should have died. It's all right, I don't mind. That might not be the right words. I think it's cried, actually, but I heard it as died. So the amount of times I've heard that song too. So anyway, it's talking about like having to let go of what was. And sometimes when you have to, when you're birthing a new version of yourself, the old versions of you need to die, right? This an ego death in some ways. So I feel like you're kind of, I'm getting into this energy now, this picture, this feeling of, this is just for some of you, I feel, but it could be for all of you, I don't know. That you're in between, you're in this in between timelines, this in between stepping into the new highest version of yourself and holding on to what was before. And it's like, without being able to let go and to get into the state of mind where you're in this ecstatic bliss energy that comes from the higher heart, so that you don't feel scared to let go, so that you're okay with it. Sort of like, I don't mind if I die, because I know that it's just a version of me that's dying. It's just a version of me that has to let go of this situation, this person, this relationship, whatever it happens to be for you. To be able to fully let go of that, you need to step into this higher heart, this ecstatic bliss energy where you feel held, where you feel safe, and you know that there's always this positive this oh, now it's gone, infinite possibilities, right? I as I'm here feeling that bliss energy coming through for me, it just comes, like, sometimes it just pops into my head, right? The I love you from nowhere. Right, it's great, I love it, but it's a power up thing. It's like my guides reminding me it's okay to let go of what's been going on in the past, because without doing that you can't step into the future. But shit, I've forgotten where I was going with this. Anyone would think I'd been drinking, but I haven't. They do this when I'm going off track a bit. They do this when they want me to change the storyline. So what we were talking about was getting into that feeling, that what's coming through for me with that is to remind myself constantly, to constantly tell myself there is always more. There is different possibilities. I can choose differently, and there's never going to be just one, right? We all have this weird belief, and specifically, we get in a relationship or a connection with someone and they feel like the one, but there's never going to be just one, because we're all like little fractals of each other, and we're all connected to the source energy. So we have to remember that there are infinite possibilities, and sometimes those possibilities are a better, a more fulfilling fit for our situation than the one that we don't want to let go of. It's a very interesting energy and an interesting message coming through for you guys. Whew, I almost don't feel like I need to read the rest of these messages, but I will, because I love you and I'm glad that you watch my videos. So yeah, that was a massive channel and a massive, yeah, I hope it really resonated for some of you, and I hope that it like encodes you with that message that there is always more. There's always, other possibilities. There's infinite possibilities. So staying open when you're in the higher heart chakra energy, when you have your higher heart chakra open, it allows all those possibilities to come in. Then you have to practice discernment and decide, which one's better for me. What would be more fulfilling for me in the long run, kind of thing, that kind of thing. Anyway, next card we have is positive attitude. Now, I feel like this is a pretty self-explanatory kind of message. Transform negative thoughts. So having a positive attitude, and that's just what I was talking about. Positive affirmations to change the things that you think that make you feel bad. Right? I'm not talking about spiritual whitewashing or bypassing. There's things that come up for us that we need to process, that don't feel good, that we need to process in some way. And there's so many different ways that you can do that, right? You can just sit and feel that energy. You can go do breath work. There's counselors, therapists, healers, somatic healing, so many different, EMDR, so many different options, right? What was I saying? There's always more. There's different options to help you manage your stuff, your emotional stuff. So that's not what they're trying to tell you, right? That's not the message. The message here is what they're not trying to tell you. But I better clarify that. Let me clarify that your guides, the message that's coming through is they're saying this isn't about light washing. This isn't about being so positive that you don't even notice that there's something negative going on or something that doesn't work for you going on, because that doesn't work for anybody. What they want you to do is find the thoughts that you're getting caught up on. Find the thoughts that are stopping you from letting go and being in this bliss state. Find the energy, the feelings that come up that are stopping you from being in this ecstatic bliss, in this feeling very connected and very safe in the world and in your life, because you have the connection with your soul and source, and your higher self is giving you these messages. So you're blocking yourself. This is what's coming through. Is like there are things that you might be feeling or entertaining or that are hanging around in your energy that are creating like negative things that you think about, or things that you think about that are upsetting to you, things that are bringing you down into a downward spiral. Whereas what they want you to do is to change that, to stop yourself from thinking those thoughts by connecting in with this ecstatic bliss and focusing on one thing at a time, so that you are not squandering all of your energy being obsessive, being scattered, being everywhere. Like they want you to be now it's where I said this to myself about 100 times: intentional and conscious about what you're doing and how you're doing it. They want you to be intentional and conscious. So by connecting into the ecstatic bliss of the higher heart center, by connecting into that source that connects you to your higher self, to your soul path, this is going to show you the way. It's going to allow you to feel this very grounded but very expansive energy that's going to show you this is the way to a different possibility. This is a different pathway, and this is better for you. This will make you feel more fulfilled. So yeah, cool. I better stop talking about that. I could just talk about the higher heart chakra for the rest of my life and I'd be quite happy. But I'm sure you guys don't want to hear all about it. If you do, perhaps I can do a podcast or something on it. So yeah, the next message that we have is beloved. Ooh, there we go. Unicorn spirit coming through, guys. So for some of you, maybe the unicorn is one of your spirit guides or one of your spirit animals. I feel like maybe working with unicorn energy would be great for you guys at this particular time. Um, I'm going to read out of the book because I'm going to see what they've got to say about this. So, Zedekiel, where are you? Probably right at the back. There's Zedekiel. Zedekiel. Luxury. No. Beloved. Okay, here we go. The unicorns are returning to planet Earth at this time of the great spiritual shift back to source. They arrive from the seventh dimensional home of archangels, for they are ascended masters of the horse kingdom. Ooh, horse energy coming through too. So maybe you're a horse person, maybe you love horses, maybe it's the energy, the symbolism of like the freedom of horses. I don't know why, but that's just the symbolism of horses, is that they're free, you know, they're running around being free creatures. Let's see what else we've got here. Okay, so horse kingdom and are pregnant with magic to awaken the love of the beloved by using their magical talisman, their horns. They are instruments of love designed like a wand to touch the heart of the devotee and to ignite each soul with fire of loving initiation and the infinite possibilities. Get out. That's great. And so, yeah, it's just kind of reiterating like there is an activation going on here. There's a portal for activation going on here that's available to you guys. It might happen to you spontaneously if that is meant to be on your soul path, or it might be a guidance for you to focus on that heart center, that fire in the heart kind of feeling, being lit up, remembering your magic, all of those things. So, where are we? Where are we? The unicorn's purity is legendary, often relishing the company of an exquisite virgin. Okay, with their spiraling horns healing any disease or disharmony. I don't know why they needed to put that line in. It doesn't make any sense, and it's got no relevance to anything else that's on this card, as far as I know. Maybe it's just, you know, to represent purity or something like that. Um, with their spiraling horns healing any disease or disharmony within the three kingdoms of the animal, vegetable, and mineral worlds. Gaze deeply into the icon and see that Zedekiel, the divine comforter, overshadows the unicorn, providing you with a special comfort and love through the heart sigil. Oh, okay, so this is sort of like that energy that I was saying. My guides are sending to me. I feel like you guys might be getting that energy sent to you too. It's like this comfort from the spirit world, whether it comes through from an angel or whether it comes from, you know, like your guides, or it comes from a loved one who's passed away. It doesn't really matter how it comes. It's just that you are receiving this energy, this comforting, loving energy that makes you feel safe. Um, Where were we? Are you dislodged from the equanimity of your soul's counsel? If so, use the unicorn's embrace to reconfigure the connection with your soul, feeling Zedekiel's heart drenching you with divine fire, the greatest elixir you can experience. Ooh, that's pretty cool. And this card's related to the heart chakra. So, by activating the actual heart chakra, the green one, the heart center. By activating that and working with that, we allow the energy to kind of work its way up to the heart center, to the higher heart center. It says chant ha through your heart chakra, the anahata, to call on your own special unicorn through Zedekiel, and then he can be caressed by their love. That's a very interesting message. I like the way it ties in with the higher heart chakra and that, you know, unconditional love of source kind of energy coming through. I feel, as I said, I feel like for some of you working with unicorn spirit energy or just investigating that if you never have before, it could be something that, you know, will be beneficial to your journey. But what I also got from this was that you're being supported by, you know, the divine. And I feel like, as I said, I think I said this, yeah, that there's a situation, right? This is a situation you're either healing from, trying to release. You're being supported by the divine to let go of whatever it is that's holding you back from stepping into this next um, new version of you, or this new timeline that you have the ability, you have the portal. See, the thing is, like, a lot of people, even psychics and stuff, you know, you'll see readers and they'll say, you're doing this is going to happen to you. But I fully believe, and this is my experience throughout my spiritual awakening, is that you've got to do the work before you can actually have that energy embodied you. So whatever it is, like, there's you have an opportunity to do it, but you have free will. So if you choose not to do it, you just stay where you are, right? And this is the thing we need to be aware of as well, is like, to be able to step into the next version of yourself, you need to do the work. You need to do whatever it is that you need to do. Close off energy in an old connection, or remember to focus on just one thing and get that finished, and then move on to the next task, or whatever it is, however it works for you. Because without having done that, you won't be either mentally, emotionally, or energetically prepared to step into the next version. And even if you tried, it's most likely that you would spring back, that you'd spring back into where you were before, because you would not have stretched your consciousness enough by focusing on, you know, the good and the bliss and the messages and all of that sort of stuff. That's where this comes in. It's like, trying to manifest something is a great thing to do, right? Manifesting, working on manifesting, focusing on that. But if you are not preparing yourself to step into a new reality, so that when you do, you don't freak out and self-sabotage and go back to the old reality again, then you're kind of going to be fucked, right? And a lot of people kind of miss that. They think that this all just happens divinely, and, you know, some things spontaneously happen. But for the most part, these messages that I give specifically, they are guidance for you guys to, okay, I need to go do this, or I should focus on that, because that's what my guides are telling me, because that's going to help me stretch my consciousness to a place where I can walk into the next version of myself, or into the next timeline, and it's not going to feel so weird that I just want to go back to what was comfortable and what was normal for me. Yeah, I think we might end the reading here. I feel like that was a great message. I hope that you guys got the messages that you needed to get out of it. I may do an extended for this. I'm not sure yet. I'll just see what the other ones are. But if there are extended readings for any of these particular readings that I'm doing, they'll be in the description box underneath this video, and there will be a link there if you would like a private reading with me too, if you would like to get deeper into your own personal journey rather than just listening to the general messages. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate you, and I will catch you on the next one. Thanks, bye. Okay guys, hi, it's Alvie here. This is group 2's reading. It's the same day that I recorded group 1, but it got too cold, so I needed to put my lovely hoodie on, hoodie, whatever you want to call it. So anyway, if you haven't met me before, or this is the first time you're watching, or if you're someone who watches me all the time and you've just forgotten, I'm Alvie. I am a psychic intuitive, psychic medium. I read energy. I do energy healing, counseling, all sorts of things that all revolve around healing and coming back to the heart space. And this is group 2's reading from the collective reading that I do every week. Sorry, I'm just moving some things out of my way as I talk. So if you chose group 2 from all the piles, from the pile selection, or you were just drawn to this reading and group 2 jumped out at you, then this reading is for you. So, excuse me, having a big yawn. Sometimes that's a precursor to a lot of energy coming through. I was just meditating before I started this reading, had a couple of tries at this one, and the energy is very clunky. It's like there's a message there, but trying to get it through has been quite difficult. And I feel like this has got to do with like an issue with communication, or not feeling comfortable or able to really speak your truth in case that, you know, it ends a connection or relationship or friendship or something like that. There's a This is the first message for you guys that I'm drawn to. I've got 4 cards here for your pile. So this is the first one, resolve the conflict. And the reason that I'm sort of drawn to that one, I guess, is the energy that I'm getting. It's a difficult energy that I've been experiencing as I'm trying to channel through these messages for you and record this reading. So it's interesting that there's definitely a feeling of just like there's something that needs to be discussed. It's like there's an elephant in the room type feeling. And no one really wants to talk about it. Now, this could be, it could be I feel like for the most part, this is a romantic relationship type reading. For some of you, it might not be. It just depends on where you're at in your life. If you're already in a relationship and you're happy with it, this might not be the right reading for you, or there might be, you know, something other messages in here for you as well. Or you could check out maybe one of the other group readings too. So yeah, just feeling back into this energy again. So yeah, as I was saying, it's like really, I was really struggling to get the energy out, the words out to translate. So I feel like there's stuff under the surface, as I said, and I feel like it's sort of like no one really wants to talk about it, even though everybody's kind of aware of what's going on, or that there is a conflict or an issue. Pay deeper attention to the differing opinions is what it says underneath resolve conflict. So I'll get it right eventually. See, I don't know if you can see that. Sometimes, there we go. Pay deeper attention to the differing opinions. So I feel like just kind of looking into that, about paying, when you pay attention to, okay, so my guides are saying this is about not taking what people say at face value, not because you don't trust them, but because you understand that there's like, everybody has a different perspective or perception of what something means. And often if you just assume that they mean the same thing, that it means the same thing to you as it does to the person, to another person, you can end up, you know, in conflict or miscommunicating because you've just assumed that that person meant the same thing as you, or something like that. You know what I mean? So I feel like this is a situation perhaps where it's either coming up or it's already happened. And there's like this conflict or challenge or miscommunication type thing happening, or has happened, that is kind of blocking you. It's blocking you from becoming more deeply intimate in this connection, or it's blocking the intimacy, because the next card that we have that I'm being drawn to is delightful. All right, it's delightful intimacy, if you can see that. All right, now it's finally, autofocus is starting to work. So we're talking about intimacy, and intimacy, I've heard it seen I've seen it written about and heard about it described as into me I see. So the deeper you can look into yourself, the more authentic of a connection you have with yourself, and the more transparent connection you have with yourself, the easier it is for you to have those kind of connections with other people. It says tend the flowering of friendship. So what I'm really getting from this for you guys group 2 is that it's either the building of or the continuation of a connection or relationship that you're having a conflict in, or you've had a conflict in, is it's dependent on how much you want to nurture it. It's dependent on you feeding it, watering it, giving it what it needs to grow, and obviously dependent on that from the other person's perspective as well. I feel like, yeah, you might need to have some deep conversations with your person if this is where it's at for you. Although I do feel like with the delightful intimacy card, that this could be an all-encompassing type experience, talking about being intimate with yourself. Like, that's not as rude as it sounds either. That's not what I mean. My dirty mind's like, yeah, okay. But no, that's not what I mean. I'm going to have a little look in the book. I feel like there's a deeper message about the intimacy thing. So, sorry, about the delightful intimacy card. Okay, so let's have a look here. What does it say? The little mantra is, I'm fully open and ready to create delightful intimacy and build a true friendship. So this could be about friends as well. I feel like the more open you are, the easier it is for people to make friends with you, or for you to make friends with people. But, it can be very difficult if you're not comfortable with yourself or confident in yourself to be able to open up to that, whether it's romantic or my hair looks like I just woke up, and I kind of almost did because I was meditating. So yeah, I didn't even think about going and looking in the mirror before I started this. So let's have a look and see what else we've got going on here in this card. It says cultivating a strong relationship is like planting a garden. It must be done at the right time and in a welcoming environment. Two hearts in friendship need to open up gently like flowers to the sunshine. Oh, that's beautiful imagery there. Two hearts in friendship. Oh, hang on, I read that bit. They have to stand strong when facing opposing challenges such as winds of jealousy and hostility. Above all, delightful intimacy needs unwavering attention and nurturing to develop. If the flowering of the friendship faces too much adversity, it will perish in the unfriendly gales of fall. So it's kind of a bit of a warning coming up here about like making sure that you're tending to any connections and relationships, and tending to them means, approaching conflicts or challenges that you might be having as well, communicating, making sure you're both on the same page when you communicate, so that there's no misunderstanding, so that, one of you doesn't tell the other one thing and then the other thinks it means something else, making sure you're both on the same page, clarifying and coming to that kind of communication with open-heartedness and love and honesty, so that you are like not going into it to create a conflict, but you're going into it to resolve a conflict. The feeling of missing a sense of support and affection could indicate the need for more meaningful relationships in your life's journey. Maybe some of you don't feel, like you have your people around you. I can relate to that, especially on the spiritual journey. I think we often kind of isolate or magically become less able to deal with, the way people are, things like that. At certain points when you're going through a spiritual journey or an awakening journey, you just don't feel the same as everyone else, so it's hard to relate, and it can feel very lonely. But this is asking you to develop and cultivate more meaningful relationships in your life's journey. So like some of you might have a lot of people around you, but you don't have that deep connection, like best friend or someone that you feel like you can really confide in, and you feel really close to and you can trust. Maybe they're asking you to keep an eye out for that as well, not just in romantic relationships, but to have a friend, a confidant, whether it's, you know, friends, family, whatever. Yeah, it's just about, yeah. So I'm just going to read this. It says, it requires the involvement of your time, energy, and emotions. When genuine friendships are developed, it stimulates your dreams and expands your limits. It will help you to increase your imagination and transform your vision. So, this is a little bit like what I was talking about. I think it was last week or maybe the week before, about how important community is, because having community means that you can kind of expand your view and your perspective and your energy by connecting with other people who are similar to you or on a similar path to you. So I think, yeah, I'm just sort of thinking, feeling into this energy. Doesn't feel quite as clunky and difficult to read as it was before. When I was trying, it was just like, oh, I can't even, like it was there, but it just wasn't. So, yeah. Delightful intimacy sprouts and grows through proper nurturing. The need to shine the light of joy and delight upon your life through direct physical presence and heartfelt relationships. Oh, you need. Did I read that properly? You need to shine the light of joy and delight upon your life and direct physical presence and heartfelt experiences or relationships, sorry. However, you truly need to understand and respect who you are before you can engage in an intimate relationship. So when you feel ready, you can slowly involve those worthy of friendship in your life, including them in your personal hopes and aspirations as you listen to theirs. Spend personal time with others and be open to mutually sharing thoughts and feelings. The more you share your visions with others, the more likely it is that you will develop a strong and everlasting intimacy with them. So as I'm reading this, I'm getting this like this kind of energy. It's like, it was just reminding me, it's sort of like when there's other people around you like you, it's much easier to open up to them. But it's also got to do with sort of, I feel like some of you might be feeling lonely in a special kind of way, not the special kind of way that, you know, my brain is going to, but just you long for that deep soulmate kind of connection. And it doesn't have to be romantic, it could be, you know, platonic or familial, you know, from your family. They're stopping me again, so I've got to go to something new. There's a different message coming through. It's sort of like, I feel like, yeah, as I was saying before, I feel like there's this conflict, this miscommunication, this lack of, or maybe it's not that you lack communication skills, but it's just like you don't know how to communicate a specific thing, or you're uncomfortable letting people know who you are unless you feel comfortable with them or something like that. I don't know. But I'm definitely getting that it's sort of like, oh, yeah, I don't know. I'm going to go to the next card. It's happening again. There's this energy. I can feel messages, but I can't kind of translate them. I can feel them energetically. I'm not getting much of a clairvoyant or clairaudient message here. It's sort of like it's all in the feelings, right? And that's obviously a sign. There's like things that you might be feeling in your body that you can't tell, or you don't know how to express them to your person, or however that works. I'm also getting this message of like, for those of you who are relating to a relationship, like a romantic relationship type thing, what I'm getting here is like, there is a time, you come to a time where things have to either grow and expand or they shrivel up and die, basically. I don't want to, you know, be a fearmonger or anything like that, but you know, like everything has its time for growing, and sometimes if you don't, it's sort of like keeping a plant in a pot that doesn't have enough room for its roots. It's like if it's not expanding, if you're not both pouring energy into it, then there's something that needs to be addressed and something that needs to be resolved for that to either happen or for you to go your separate ways. And interestingly, I was getting a vision before when I was meditating, before I did this reading, of someone carrying another person. Like this person was like a dead weight and they were carrying a dead weight. And that's what it feels like sometimes in relationships when someone else is not actually contributing. They feel like you feel like you're carrying this weight that's not even yours. And yeah, I kind of feel like that might be something for you guys too. So are you carrying a dead weight? Is there something there that you're carrying that's not yours, that's too heavy for you, that could be resolved by, having a more expanded viewpoint, or being able to be open to communicating things and coming to a compromise rather than coming to an argument, or however you want to see it. Okay, so let's go into the portal keeper now. This is the next message for you guys. So the portal keeper, it talks about how we all have access to more expanded consciousness, to other dimensions, to our multidimensional selves. I'm going to get the book. It's probably easier to explain because it's a big message that comes from this, I think. I feel it big anyway. Okay, so let's have a look and see. Where are we? Portal keeper. Number 50. Wow. Okay, so the portal keeper message. Unique gateways to mystical experiences, psychic ability, raising your vibrations, expanded consciousness. The Akashic Records, past life ties, exploring the edges of reality for significant messages, and seeing between the lines of multidimensional awareness. So it's very interesting, kind of. Yeah, I'm picking up something here. It's like, maybe I feel like there's like some kind of telepathic communication going on, or energetic communication going on between you and your person that's causing some kind of conflict, because it's like shadow stuff. It's stuff that you don't want to talk about, stuff that you don't want to bring out in the open, but it's felt and it's known. And I feel like what they're pointing to here with the portal keeper is that there's more to it. There's more to relationships than just, the day-to-day, everyday life type stuff. Whether you want to admit to it or not, there's always an energetic component to things. And I feel like this is kind of like a message to say to you, be careful of what, or not be careful of what you're thinking, but that is a factor that you might need to kind of bring into your awareness when you're thinking, hey, why is this person not interacting with me the way that they used to? Or why do I feel like I'm kind of carrying this dead weight, or not, or this connection's not being nurtured in the way that it should be or needs to be so that it can grow and expand. All right, I'm just going to go into the portal keeper book here a little bit more. Okay, as we become more sensitive and aware, we are more receptive to mystical experiences. Okay, we can realize there are overlaying realities that seem just as real. Pardon me, now I've got the hiccups. Okay, so if not vibrant and profound, then, sorry, now I've lost my place because there's music on, and as you know, I channel through music. You can't see my headphones because I've got earbuds in at the moment. But I'm just listening to the song, listening to the music. I'm just going to check what the song is. I feel like it's kind of relevant for you guys. touch, peel, and stand. Days of the New. Let me just check the lyrics. Okay. So I've finally found the reason I've got this time on my hands. You are the one to abuse. I mean, it's a lovely, not the lovely message, but it kind of just felt like there's this, yeah. I feel like there's an energetic fight. This is what we're talking about. Something in the energy, something in the, as I said, it's like it's shadow stuff. It's stuff that you may not even realize is going on or that you're being dragged into. It could also be that you're involved with someone who is like, how do I put this? They're overstimulated in a way, and sometimes to get attention, it's like they want to fight instead of, they want to make a fight to get the attention that they want instead of being able to receive it in another way or something like that. Yeah, so interesting. But anyway, as we move along here, there is a theory that space and time are constructs that allow our human minds to grasp sequences in chronological order and enable us to orientate and move forward through reality. In their current evolution, humans are only using a small portion of their brain capacity. If we unlock our mind's potential, what would we fathom that we can't now? There is information out there that isn't real to us until we glimpse it with our senses. So there's something going on here, I feel. I feel like this is speaking about connection, the energy in connections, right? And there's something going on that, you can't quite put your finger on it or something like that. You don't know until you've actually seen it or experienced it. Maybe it's, yeah. I feel like it's like this magic that comes in when you're actually able to be very intimate with yourself and therefore intimate with other people, very open with other people. And I feel like, as I was saying that, for some of you, this is like perhaps you've been single for a while, perhaps you're looking for a new connection, but you're finding it really difficult because you just don't feel okay with being out there, right? And that's fine. I totally understand that because not everybody deserves your energy, but I feel like there's some kind of magic here that happens, some kind of alchemy perhaps that happens when you are fully, how can I put this? When you're fully aware of who you are and it doesn't really matter like how other people are towards you. And this goes for people who are in relationships too. Perhaps it's sort of like about being more authentic to yourself, maybe speaking up about boundaries or ideas and beliefs and things like that, because I definitely feel like there is like this energetic block. It's not, and it's causing, because everything starts in energy, right? And then it trickles down into like physical reality. So if there's something going on in the energy that's like an energetic block, it's like this block between you being able to connect properly with someone in those other realms in that energy realm, it's going to trickle down eventually into the physical realm, and that's going to cause problems in your relationship. So basically what I'm feeling here is that like there's definitely something that you guys had a fight over or something happened that has caused, it's not like a permanent cut particularly. It's sort of like it's caused this big rift between you. And yeah, I feel like this is just for some of you. I don't think it's for all of you. I feel like for some of you, I feel like it's a conflict within yourself. So to be able to resolve that conflict means going more deeply within yourself and being honest and all of that sort of stuff. But it also requires this portal keeper energy that is kind of asking you to see more, asking you to expand more, to be able to see things from different perspectives, perhaps. So I'm going to this is a huge message in this book. So I'm just going to read the divinatory meaning, right? So gently explore the edges of your reality. Spend time in the forest to listen. Deepen your meditation practice. Dance yourself into ecstasy. Explore psychic tools and study new healing modalities. If you feel lacking in purpose or life seems to be a little mundane, remember there is never a reason to be bored. What we experience with our physical senses is just the tip of the iceberg. Magic exists wherever you care to find it. So look between the lines to the limitless discovery. Wow. Okay. That puts a different spin on this a little bit, I think. Yeah. So sometimes finding that magic, finding this, going into it gives you this different perspective, this way to bring things back around to balance so that you can either sink more deeply into yourself or sink more deeply into this connection. I'm going to read you one more message here. Hopefully this is making sense. As I said, it's a funny energy, and I really do feel like it's like my guides or the energy that I'm picking up on. It's like there's this block, there's this thing that's there. Like I said, an elephant in the room. Maybe it's something you don't want to talk about, or you think they don't want to talk about. Maybe it's something that it's just stopping the communication from properly happening, both energetically and physically. So yeah, it's a bit of a funny one. But anyway, delight, Zadikiel. Well, delight, obviously. Something's delightful. Let's have a look here. Delight. Oh, wow, it's right there. That's Zafkiel, sorry, not Zadikiel, Zafkiel. That's the angel that's associated with this. I'm just going to have a look in this card, in this book. The evolution of nature is one of delightful aspects of creation we can witness, particularly as we soul surf through this time of divine meeting between male and female archetypes. I think we all know how I feel about that if you've watched me before. There's no greater illustration of this than Botticelli, because it's like half on one page and half on the other. Botticelli's Birth of Venus. As fantastic zephyrs blow her life into creation, pure beauty steps forth, and roses are playfully tossed in her path as symbols of faith, truth, and purity. Venus, or Aphrodite, is an embodiment of love, and right now, Zafkiel, the sacred lover, reminds you to evoke the sheer delight of unconditional love into your life. As you ponder this beautiful icon, allow its magic to conjure in you ways of being that bring forth pure delight in your life. This may be by observing the delight of nature unfolding in its glory, listening to a piece of music, reviewing sacred poetry the angels scatter in your path, gazing on a dear one whom you adore, or bathing in the simplicity of pure delight. All right, so that's a very interesting message. I get this message that something's gone on here. You feel, I don't know, I feel like there's a certain level of disconnection in this reading, and that might be also why I'm not channeling these messages, why it feels really kind of clunky and it's hard to get the energy out. So there's a certain level of disconnection here, but the disconnection is happening because you're not have that feeling of unconditional love, that feeling of joyfulness, that feeling that you get when you connect with this kind of stuff, the portal keeper, like by exploring the edges of your reality or going into different sort of vibrations and understanding multidimensionality and seeing all of that sort of that joyful, amazing kind of aspect of life seems to have left you, perhaps, or you're focusing too much on conflict, and that's stopping you from having this connection, this delightfulness. Like we've got delight twice here, right, guys? So I feel like the message for you guys, I'm throwing cards on the floor. I feel like the message for you guys here is about bringing that energy back to your life and to your relationships. And as I said, it doesn't have to be romantic. It could be family. It could be, you know, just life in general kind of thing. But delight seems to be a thing. So finding things that you find delightful, finding things that kind of, you know, light you up. It's weird because this is the message that I just keep getting over and over again. It's like, you are the magic, right? You're the magic. It doesn't matter what else is sort of going on. But I feel like in this particular reading, that by reconnecting with that magic, with that sort of more expanded version of yourself, or that expanded consciousness, it's allowing this kind of different vibration to come in for you that's going to help you work out how to resolve this conflict. It's going to help you become okay with, you know, like opening up to being, don't mind me, I'm just rearranging everything so I can put some more cards down. So it's like going to help you resolve any conflicts, or understand like the differing opinions that you might be experiencing. Let me just have a look here and see what else I've got. I really want there it is. Okay, I'm going to grab a few of these cards here and see how we go. I don't know why I just looked at my air conditioner to see what the time was. I've been great with this lately. I tried to light a candle by walking into the bathroom and turning on the tap yesterday. I kind of had two things in my mind at once and it was just scattered. It was hilarious. All right, so let's have a look and see what about this message is delightful. What is about this message? What does group 2 need to know? Okay, divine feminine, step into your power. Yeah, so it's just this message again about stepping into your power. I feel like when you step into your power, that's when you resolve the conflict. So this block goes away because you're stepping into the more energetic version of yourself. So it's not necessarily that the block goes away, but it's just when you are in your power, you don't feel as afraid of like bringing up subjects that might be a bit touchy, or, you know, you're in your power. You don't mind so much, but it also helps you resolve issues and conflicts a little bit better, because you're not tiptoeing around things. You're like, well, this is my thing, what's your thing, and able to kind of balance that and bring that into harmony. Let's have a look and see what would you like group 2 to know about. Very interesting. This is Zafkiel card, the sigil, which is this thing on the top there. Kind of, it looks a bit like a clock. Sort of feel like it's time. It's time for whatever this thing is to be addressed. It's like it's divine timing. See what else comes up for you guys. Group 2. Okay, what have we got here? Magic wand, focus your energy on one thing. This came up in the group 1's reading as well. I feel like for you guys, that one thing is just stepping back into your power, right? So focusing your energy on that instead of worrying about whatever conflict or issues are coming up for you. in regards to this situation. I do feel like there was a fight or a miscommunication or something. Maybe it's just taking up too much of your mental energy, and you're being guided to go back to, you know, being you instead of worrying too much about what's going on, because these things have, I don't know, it's like the more you think about it, the more negative energy you're sort of putting into it. If you're thinking negatively about it, you're praying for what you don't want by worrying. So yeah, maybe it's just they're asking you to step out and just, my God, it's happened again. Look, reclaim your power, reclaim your power, reclaim your power. Remember who you are, right? Be confident about it. And it says pause, rest. Pause and rest, you deserve it. Okay, so yeah, I really feel like you might need to just take a time out. Remember who you are, come back to reclaiming your power. And when you reclaim your power, I feel like it's going to be through doing things like meditation, or, you know, connecting with energy in some way. Because that, I don't know, I feel like for you guys it's something that's just going to be, that is something that's delightful for you, perhaps, like being in that space where you are in flow with the universe, with your own energy, and you're not really, you know, focusing on other people and what kind of things are going on there. Not seeding doubts and fears as well by overthinking. Yeah, so look at that. Open the door to a higher dimension. I feel like I've got probably a few too many cards there for that message. And anything else you'd like group 2 to know? Oh, okay. You are on the right path. So whatever path you're on the right path, right? I feel like, yeah, just be focusing on yourself, to be focusing on opening that door to the more expanded dimension within yourself, to more expanded perspectives, allows you to become aware, to remember your power, to bring that power back in. Yeah, I feel like that's probably it, guys. Use your power to resolve the conflict or whatever it is, this energetic block that I can feel. You can do it. I know you can, because my guides and your guides would not be giving you this message if you can't. But just remember to, you know, have fun with it. I think that's what it is. That's kind of what they're getting to with the delight, is remembering to have fun with life and to laugh and not take everything so seriously. I think sometimes when you have this kind of energetic block, or even just a conflict or a fight that's maybe an ongoing thing, or disagreement with someone that you love, it's easy to kind of let that affect all of your life. Whereas they're saying, no, don't do that. Don't take on board what other people are doing as something, like as a reflection of you. Just remember who you are in that moment, and kind of, yeah, just reclaim your power. All right, guys, I think I'm going to end this reading here. It's been a bit of a tough one. Hopefully you got some messages that, you know, resonated and that it made sense. Yeah, thanks for watching. If I do get guided to do an extended on this, I might, or I might not. I'll just see how I go. But if I do, I will leave a link below in the description box so that you guys can see the extended reading if this is something that's interesting to you. All right, thanks for watching. Bye. Hey, it's Alvie here doing group 2. God, I've got the yawns now. It started yawning in, no, this is group 3, not group 2. I've just finished doing group 2. Boy, was that a difficult one. I don't know what the energy, it was just so hard to read. So I'm hoping this one's a little easier. I'm hoping this is a bit more of a flow type thing, because it says your first message, stay in the flow. So interesting, just kind of digging into the energy of this reading. Let me just tune in a bit. Don't know why I'm yawning so hard. Okay, so stay in the flow. Exalt in the rhythm of life. I feel like this is kind of talking about it could be a couple of things. One thing being in the flow is sort of like how would you put it? Being in the flow is sort of like it's like when everything's just working really easily and you're able to kind of cruise around and just do what you need to do and there's no sort of obstacles and nothing stops you. And that usually comes from, being in alignment or something like that. But I'm also getting a second message with this one, which is to be joyful and happy about what you're doing brings in better energy. It makes your path easier, I think. So it's sort of like it's a twofold thing of putting the work in energetically or energetically, mentally, to have that alignment with what you're doing. And when I say alignment, like, it could be anything as well. It doesn't just have to be, it could be work, it could be life, it could be anything, right? Being able to stay in the flow with how things are going instead of, maybe getting caught up on, I should be doing this at this time, just going with how things are working. And that's easier than having a fight. It's sort of about understanding the like divine timing a little bit as well. Because if you get stuck in that kind of that energy where where everything's so structured that you can't sort of step out of that structure, or it worries you when you do, or something like that. It's sort of like, I feel like, hang on, sorry, messages coming through right now, energy's coming through right now. So I feel like this is reminding you to be a bit more flexible about what you do, because the universe is trying to teach you about how things go much more easily if you don't put resistance into them so much. Like, it's great to have, say, a routine, but it's also great to be able to deviate from that routine without it upsetting you too much. So, maybe you had planned to do yoga in the morning, but your kid's really hungry or something comes up that you have to do first. Don't let that throw you. That's what they're saying. It's just go with the flow, and then that way, there'll be another time. Like, if you can get into that kind of mode where you're just like, oh, okay, this is happening now. Okay, cool. We'll just go that way. That helps you kind of become aligned with the flow of the universe rather than trying to kind of force things, I guess is the best way to put it. I'm just going to have a quick peek in the book for this one. I'm just curious, honestly, to know what they say in here. Already, this energy is a lot easier to read than group 2. So if you were in group 2 and you've come over here, hopefully this is messages that will help you as well. Picture yourself dancing in the arms of a partner you trust. Your eyes are closed and you are following the rhythm of the music with ease. You are not worried about having to rely on your agility or strength. Living in the energy of the universe offers you similar freedom in life. The joy of the soul is devised through the melody played by a distant flautist. That means flute player. Flautist. Sorry, I don't know what's wrong with me today. I think there's some weird things going on in my head. I just like to laugh at weird words too. When you willingly surrender to the flow, you feel at one with everyone and everything around you. The power of union and love come together to allow the divine pulse to guide you. Yeah, so basically the same thing that I was kind of saying, right? Life is not about having to struggle or plot a scheme to receive your blessings. You have the power to see the miracles, floating in the air are all around you. Surrender to the flow of life without resistance. Trust that everything will work out for the best, and at the perfect time to help you become the person you want to be. Look beyond limitations and social conditioning and attune to the deep wisdom that resides within you. The remedy you seek is already in your heart. Be assured that the presence of the divine, the presence of divine help is in your life to aid you, and in opening your heart and your mind to what is available to you, play the hand you've been dealt and be confident that no matter what, you are surrendering to what is best for you. Let your intuition and dreams open the channels that unite you with the creative power. As you experience ease and progress, you will become more convinced that what you want to achieve is already within you. Really good message there about, well, yeah, not kind of allowing things to throw you off course, I guess, and just to be a little bit easy and understand that you have what you need within you, but fighting for it and being stressed about it isn't going to help you get there, right? So that's I love that as an opening message. So let's have a look and see what else have we got here. Okay, what else have we got here? What's calling to me next? So I have all your cards from the pile already out in front of me. I'm thinking, like, I don't know, adoration seems, yeah, maybe, I don't know. I think we'll go for this one. This is where we're at, new blueprints. So, hair's driving me nuts today. It's probably time for a wash, I guess. New blueprints. So this is about creating new blueprints for yourself. We all have blueprints, like that's what they call them. It's a blueprint is like a plan type thing. I guess it's like something to do with building or architecture and things like that in the real world. But we have soul blueprints. We have life blueprints that sit within our energy field. And, you know, we can read them if we go into the Akashic records and stuff like that. But we're not bound to those things, right? So we're not bound to the first blueprint that we ever found, because we can change them. We can do like, what is it? Soul contract, like renegotiate our soul contracts. We can create new blueprints by making different decisions and things like that. So I feel like this is what's happening here for you guys with the stay in the flow. It's like new things are coming to you, like life is opening up new doors for you. You're creating new life and you're creating a new path for yourself. But sometimes I feel like they're just asking you to remember to stay in the flow instead of like trying to force the new to come in, because it will come when it's right, when the time is ready, when the time is ready, when the time is right and you are ready, and when it's like meant to happen by the universe's timing, by your soul's timing, not by our humanness's timing. Humannesses, that's like the ego, right? So our humanness, our ego has been conditioned to believe that certain things have to happen at a certain age or something like that, you know, like there's all this social conditioning and other bullshit basically that we all kind of learn about when we're little and as we're growing up, but it's not really what, you know, it's just some person's idea that kind of turned into a whole pile of people's idea, and it's so much of it is so damaging to us as humans, to us on our, you know, to us on our spiritual journey or just in our life, that I'm surprised that not more people actually step out of it. But, you know, this is what the healing journey is about. This is what the spiritual journey is about. It's about being able to step away and unlearn all the crap that you've learned that's made you unhappy, unfulfilled, and made you feel like you have to do certain things at certain times, or, you know, like, say you should have moved out of home, been married and own your own house by the time you're 30 and stuff like that. And it's like, it's even worse now. That's a pretty old school one. I'm hoping that's, yeah, sorry. I had a bit of something on my lip. So yeah, it's sort of, you know, that kind of thinking, like, you know, I have to earn this much money to be acceptable and things like that as well. I feel like you're stepping out of some kind of pattern, some kind of conditioning that's been holding you back from really stepping into, like, stepping into a more truthful, more authentic version of yourself. So yeah, the message here is for you to stay in the flow and to enjoy being able to be in the flow instead of being a bit funny. I'm trying to think of a delicate way to put it. Instead of being sort of stuck in your comfortable rut, maybe it's comfortable, stuck in that's, you know, I have to do this at this time. I have to eat at 12 o'clock because that's what I was told my whole life was lunchtime. All of that stuff like that, you know, like we have to do this at a certain time, we have to do this at a certain age. I feel like you're realizing that and you're stepping out of that. You might already know that, and you might be stepping into just a new, bigger, more amazing version of yourself and being reminded to stay in that flow energy so that things can happen so much more easily for you. So you're not throwing resistance into the mix, and making, like, you know, delaying things from coming for you. So the next message we have for you guys, group 3, is make work fun. Be positive about your work. Okay, that's interesting. So it's kind of like, this could be talking about a career type thing. It could be talking about your life's work or your spiritual work, your inner work, whatever. I've always said we shouldn't call it inner work. We should call it inner fun, because it sounds like such a fucking chore when you call it inner work. And sometimes it is a bit of a chore, but it's always, you know, to your advantage to, I don't know, process emotions or do healing or anything like that. You end up having a clearer slate or a clearer mirror, a clearer reflection of yourself and the world. So yeah, just bringing some fun into your life, into your work, whatever work that happens to be for you. And then we have Metatron, adoration. So this one, I'm going to go to the... Oh, the yawns are crazy today. I'm going to go to the book for this one. So Metatron or Metatron, however you want to say it. What is that? The Metatron's cube. It's also called something else. Macabre. Maybe focusing on that, like activating your macabre or Merkaba. I'm not really sure how you pronounce it, but it's that, I've got one somewhere. It's like, yeah. You might have to look it up. Look up Metatron's cube, right? Apparently, so when you're activating your light body, you activate your Merkaba, and this is like, it activates your multidimensional beingness, right? So it's like your vehicle that you move through space in, that you move through. You know, you learn, you make new blueprints by being in, basically. So I'm kind of getting a message for some of you about that, if you haven't done that, or if it's something that calls to you to activate your Merkaba or Macabre, or however you want to say it. Look up that shape, maybe just meditating on that shape, which is hard to explain. That might do something for you too. I feel like this is about energetic coding. It's an interesting card. I'll show it to you guys again. Yeah. If you can see that. It's got an interesting kind of, this thing here, I don't know what that is. It reminds me of something though. I mean, I know it looks kind of like a flower, but I'm getting something else from it. My brain says the holy hand grenade. No, probably not the holy hand grenade. But it's something like that anyway. Something kind of like, it's a religious artifact that I'm thinking of. Apparently I watched far too much Monty Python when I was a kid. The holy hand grenade. All right, where are we? Adoration. Let's have a look here. Metatron brings you such a heartfelt love, drenched in the deep conviction of homage in the divine, or homage in the divine. In the icon, you will see the monstrance of the Christ of Christian faith. Monstrance? I don't know. I'm not religious. So of the Christian faith, it contains the blessed host that signifies the body of Christ. Now I've got that song. Damn. Corpus Christi. Yeah, I'm trying to remember the band. I've got Alice in Chains playing in my ears right now, so it'll come to me. Anyway, back to this. Now, the blessed host that signifies the body of Christ used during the rite of benediction. Therefore, contemplate the fact that this is a sacred instrument which reflects the body of the devotee, within the center of which is the seat of the soul, the heart, from which rays of adoration radiate outwards. Ponder on whether or not your own process needs moments of adoration to increase the flow of Christ light or source energy through you. Adoration is a state of grace which many of us need to acquire, and so chant He through the crown chakra to stimulate the beauty of the adored, whilst feeling Metatron's heart sigil drench you with its power. Oh, that's interesting. It was a bit of a clunky reading from the book, but yeah, I kind of get what they're saying now. This is like some, I don't know, if you're Catholic or Christian or something, you probably recognize this. I don't actually recognize it. I probably know chakra symbols better than I know stuff like that. So not that I'm Hindu or anything like that either, but that's just sort of more what I've focused on in my life, I guess, yoga and things. So yeah, it's talking about how that we can use our heart centers to kind of call in the source energy and to fill us up with that energy. And that is, like they're saying, adoration. It's like self-love, right? It's filling yourself full of self-love and letting that energy stream in. So yeah, that's an interesting message. New blueprints, stay in the flow, make work fun, and then adoration. So I feel like actually by just remembering to stay in the flow, or maybe you could be using that energy, calling that energy of source into like your heart center when you feel stressed about the flow and how it's not kind of going the way that your human might want it to. But you know, if you sit back and you sit in your heart space and you listen to your soul, it's going to tell you your human timing doesn't matter. We've got this, right? We know what's going on. Stop trying to force things and let it just unfold. So that could be a thing for you guys as well, as allowing that source energy, that soul energy to speak to you through your heart and guide you through your heart. That seems to be a theme that's come through most of the readings, all of the readings today, this week. I can't remember what time zone I'm in, what year I'm in, what timeline I'm in. So yeah, it's like this thing I was saying in, I think it was group 1, I was saying that I have been having personally this energy just flowing through me, flowing in from my guides, and hearing I love you, and this love energy flowing into my heart. And I feel like it's connected to the solar activity, to the shift, but it's also like to comfort and to remind me to go back to my heart space and that I am love, right? And everybody is the same thing. When we connect into that higher part of ourselves, that higher part of ourselves, is connected to source, and source is unconditional love. So when we remember that we are love, here I am pointing with my it's not a knitting needle, it's a Tunisian crochet hook. Yeah, so when you remember that you are love, it's so much easier to surrender to the divine flow of things, rather than trying to kind of micromanage the universe, or trying to force things to happen in your, you know, your ego's idea of what divine timing is, and all of that kind of thing. And I feel like that's sort of the message here for you, is to just focus on being, like, on enjoying things, and being easy with stuff, so that this new, because we are shifting timelines right now, so this new set of blueprints can come in, can be created, so this new life, this new version of you can be created. I'm going to get a few. Where did I put them? There they are. I'm going to get a few Moon Witch Oracle messages for you guys. And I am going to if I can get all of the cards out of the little packet, and see if we can go through and have a bit more of a look. I might, you know, jump between the decks, so who knows what's going to come out. But what else does group 3 need to know? What do they need to know about making work fun? All right, let's have a look here. Blue moon, oops. You're ready to make your masterpiece. Oh, get out. New blueprints. You're ready to make your masterpiece. So I feel like, yeah, having this confirmation that that's what's going on is great. But I also feel like having this card come up is kind of giving me the feeling that, like, this is something you've been wanting to do for a long time. Perhaps you haven't known how to do it. Perhaps the timing hasn't been right, even though you've tried. But they're giving me and you the message, right, that it's the time is right now for you to start making your masterpiece. So now is the time to start shifting, to start manifesting, to start focusing on all the good stuff that you want to come into your life, and focusing on the good energy that draws that towards you. Let's get some more. Moonbeam, you are on the right path. So you can see that one there. Yep. So you're definitely going in the right direction. I feel like for this reading, I actually kind of just feel like this is confirming what you already know, right? I do feel like that happens sometimes. It's like you already know it. It's already in your intuition. It's already in your energy. It's just that you need sometimes you need confirmation from someone else, you know, like me doing a reading, or maybe it's there, and to watch a reading like this and have someone say, this is where, you know, this is coming up for you, that sort of seeds it. It doesn't seed it, but it allows it to grow, so that it becomes something that you know and understand and embody, rather than it just hanging around in your energy and you not knowing what to do with it, or what exactly it is that you're feeling. One more message, or a couple more messages. What's this one? Count your blessings. This is also another, just another confirmation card, really, to stay in this really good energy. Like, there is really amazing energy coming through at the moment. So you're probably picking up on that, and they're asking you to just count your blessings and stay in this energy, to keep remembering how good you've got it, to help create momentum, to bring more things in for you to be grateful for, I think, or to count, to count as a blessing. A couple more out of this one, and then more. Isis, cast spells, protect and heal. Okay. So you might want to look into doing some protection work, some spells, if that's your thing. If not, you know, intention is the same as casting spells pretty much anyway. I call it quantum witchcraft because I feel like if you can learn to use your mind in a way where you are constantly co-creating with the universe, that is basically doing a spell without using all the tools, and you know, without using the tools, without needing to cast a circle and all of that sort of stuff. So this is basically what manifestation is in a lot of ways. There's different kinds of magic, obviously, and you know, whatever works for you. You might not be opposed to using, you know, herbs and candles and things like that. And it really depends on what you feel like. But it says protect and heal. So there must be something this sort of coming around. This is a Scorpio card, or there's a scorpion on it anyway. So I feel like, you know, that's like Cancer energy. So there's emotions and stuff. Sometimes that comes up when we're in the flow, you know, when you feel nice and relaxed, when you feel nice and happy, all of a sudden you'll have something come up, and you just have to remember that it's coming up because it feels safe, and it's like it feels safe to allow you to know that it's there and it needs attention or to be processed, to be healed and resolved, so that you can continue to stay in the flow. Okay, I'm going to leave it at that. I think this is a pretty succinct message for you guys as well. Group 1 was really good. Group 2, and yeah, I don't know. It was funny energy, as I said, and it was quite tricky to get a message, but that's part of the message, right? So hopefully you guys got something out of this. If you did, fantastic. Leave me a like, leave me a comment. If you saw messages there that I didn't pick up on or I didn't speak about, because often, you know, in a general reading, there's a lot of messages that come through. Feel free to drop it in the comments so whoever else watches this can read the comments and see, you know, if there's another message for them there as well. Yeah, if you wanted to book a private reading with me, I will leave the link in the description box as well. And hopefully I'll see you guys on the next one. Thanks for watching, and bye.